Hello, hello, and welcome. Welcome to Sacred Wealth Live today. I am really thrilled to be with you here today and to talk about your blueprint for happiness. Welcome to Sacred. So I'm thrilled to be with you, and welcome to Sacred Live. And today I really want to talk with you about your blueprint for happiness, for joy, for inner peace, and for prosperity as well. So I'm going to give it just a moment here while people are hopping on. And again, it's really great to be with you here today. And we also have a new moon, and I'm going to talk to you about the new moon update too, because the new moon is tomorrow. So I'm just going to get, all right. There we go. Just going to get Instagram going here too. And so we can bring everybody into the party. Okay, beautiful. All right, here we roll. Okay, let's see if I can get this going one more time. Thanks for your patience. Hello and welcome. Welcome to Sacred Wealth Live. Prema Gurreri, Vedic astrologer, soul purpose mentor, spiritual guide, and business consultant. And I am just really thrilled to be with you here today on Wednesday here in North America anyway. And today I really want to support you and talk to you about some of the energy that's going on, your blueprint to joy, to inner peace, to prosperity. And yes, you actually have one. You have a blueprint for joy and peace and true prosperity. And when you have those things, which are already your birthrights, they're already within you, then all typically is pretty well in your world, or you feel pretty confident about dealing with anything that does come into your world. So I also want to talk to you about the new moon. I gave a bit of an energy update on Monday evening, and I want to talk to you about the energy of the new moon and the energy that you can align with and help to amplify, because anything that's going on energetically, anything that's going on a soul level for yourself, and that's where your blueprint actually lives, is on a soul level. Anything that's going on, on this ethereal plane energy first, when you get in alignment with that, the wonderful thing is that you bring conscious energy and attention there, then you stop feeling so stuck and struggling and confused, and you actually can participate and amplify what your soul is up to, or what it is that the energy is brewing with. So I want to just really invite you. So I want to invite you to just really tune in for a moment and notice what's percolating for you. What is it that you're really seeking right now? Is it that your heart really wants joy for yourself? You're really looking for that inner peace? I know I was just working with my VIP clients live and in person, which is always such a joy to be with them. And I actually have a special opportunity I'm going to share with you, because I'm so excited. I'm traveling to New York and to Sedona so that I can be with you live as well. So I'll tell you a little bit more about that in just a little bit. But when you have the sense of inner peace, it's like from that place, you can navigate really listen to your own intuition, listen to your own blueprint, listen to your own inner guidance. And when you're in that, when you're not at peace with yourself. Hey, Kevin, great to see you, sweetheart. Haven't seen you in a long time. When you're not in alignment with your inner peace, it's really easy to be confused, to be knocked off center, to take somebody else's agenda and look at with so much coming at you in a day, so much coming at you from every area of life. It's sometimes hard to know what's yours and what somebody else's. So that's what I want to help you to sort of detangle a little bit today, and also to know that you do have this blueprint inside of you for many things. I mean, you have a soul blueprint, and encoded in that is, choices you've made on a soul level. And when you get aligned with those choices, You get aligned with those choices that you've made on a soul level, whether they are something that are just really, in alignment with your gifts, which you all know that I'm so much about that, really helping you connect in with your sacred gifts, your highest value, your divine gifts, or whether it's a soul challenge. And when you know you have a soul challenge, because there are at least three, and actually identify 4 different kinds of challenges. When you are, one of those is a soul challenge, and when you have a soul challenge and you know it's a soul challenge, then it's easier in a way to get up to speed to making the choices to shift that challenge and overcome that, because you realize you've chosen it at some level of your being so that you can stretch and you can grow into a new frontier of yourself. Because let's face it, you're new and different in every moment. You're always shifting and changing. And even if you feel like you're staying the same or staying stuck, there's a part of you that wants to continue to evolve and grow, because we are living in a expanding universe. And every part of your life has the potential for expansion. That's your consciousness, right down to everything that you're creating here on the physical world, whether it's your finances, your money, your business, your work in the world, your garden. I mean, I'm always expanding my garden. I can't help but do that. So a little bit more about this blueprint that you have. Let's come back to this blueprint you have for, I'm so passionate about the blueprint for purpose and prosperity, but I really want to talk about, again, come back to inner peace and joy. Those are like 2 prerequisites to true prosperity, because they are inherently part of true prosperity. And what is the pathway? It's not just money. You know that. If you know me at all, and most of you do, and we've been having this conversation for a while, money's just a currency, an energy of exchange, and it's fairly new. And really what you want and desire that money can provide for you is actually, there's underneath that, it's a sense of fulfillment at some level, or a sense of freedom, or a sense of peace you're looking for, like one of your core birthrights that truly are already yours. So I love to detangle you from the money piece. And at the same time, it's kind of working with both ends. At the same time, that opens the door to having more money come in, which allows you, again, that freedom and flexibility on the material plane. So the biggest key that I have found to your joy, your inner peace, and your prosperity is really aligning with your gifts. And that's why I wrote my book, Your Sacred Wealth Code. That's why I love to give you your Sacred Wealth Code, so that you understand what your true gifts are, and the ones that in particular will align you with that true prosperity. And that will always be your purpose. It'll always have your purpose laced within it. And it'll have the gifts that you have that are highly valued in the world. So remember, your gifts, the things that you've been blessed with, that no one else can be or do just like you, those things they're just encoded in you. It's like you got a PhD. You came in to this life with a PhD in that, but have you really fully let that out? And when you do, it's like a key that unlocks something in the world that only you can unlock. Only you can create that. Only you can be that. Only you can solve that problem. Only you can create that particular art. And if you don't, it's like a missing piece in the tapestry of life that we're all living in. And when you do, it's a piece of that tapestry that comes into technicolor, and that you're bringing your light and your vibrancy to. And that means something else can happen. There is more expansion that can happen from that. Other lives can be touched from that. The planet, other creatures, other beings, from what it is that you're here to truly give. So some of the things that keep us away from what it is we're truly here to give. And I'm going to stop for a moment and just say, by the by, if you have any questions, just put them in the chat. We're here on Facebook Live. We're here on Instagram. If you're watching this later on YouTube, put them in the chat there, in the comments. I'll absolutely come back and speak with you there. But if you have any questions at all, because I'm here to serve you right now. That's what this is all about, is to connect and to serve, because that's part of my gifts, and that's what makes me just incredibly happy and be in my joy, which allows more to flourish in my life as well. So some of the things that keep us from that, really using our gifts, is again, this outside distraction, doing the things that we're good at instead of what you're spectacular at. If you were left on your own early in life to really just uh, have all the tools you need to really use your innate talents and your gifts, I did my best to provide that for my kids, and I'm a parent, so I absolutely did not do enough because I was attending to my own life too. But I did my best to give them enough and let them follow their own impulses. But there's usually along the trail of that for all of us, we get stopped in that. Somebody, tells us that's not the wrong thing to do, or to do it a different way, or in some way we get diverted from, our natural curiosity and wonderment. And so we start to do the things that we're good at, that we get the recognition. Oh, like, you do that well. You're good at that. You're good at math. You're really good at helping people. Oh, you're really good at cooking. And that's great. And it may be one of your gifts, but a lot of times we don't fully step into our gifts, which means we don't have that inner peace and that joy, and that prosperity isn't flowing in a way that feels really good for us, so that we have the inner peace and joy, because we're stuck in the things that we are just good at. Just good at. So when you have your Sacred Wealth Code, that really helps to align you with really opening up, this part of you that sort of justifies and verifies things that you already know. You already know. So if you don't already, if you don't have your Sacred Wealth Code, if you want to just grab one of your Sacred Wealth Code archetypes, if you're on Instagram, that's in my bio. There's a link there, and I will drop that link here on Facebook Live as well. I want to tell you about the new moon, but I want to talk about gifts a little bit more first. And also, I'm going to just segue here for a moment to tell you about something that I'm really excited about. So, because I haven't been, the only time I typically do work in person, like face to face, where I can hug you and squeeze you, is with my private clients in my business academy, my VIP clients who were just all here in Seattle with me last week, which was just an exquisite time. It was an exquisite, just an amazing time where so much transpired from this deep immersion that we had with each other. And so all of them, in using and learning to use their Sacred Wealth Code deeper and align that with the work that they're doing in the world, with their what brings them the most joy, just really inspired me to, while I'm going to be in New York next week, to also offer you an immersion where I can be with you live and in person for a day. It's a Sacred Wealth Immersion. And I'm also going to be teaching one in Sedona in November. So on the 24th, and I'll put a link to all of this with this video, so you've got that, or in the chat here in just a moment. So with on the 24th, which is literally in a week, it's next Tuesday in New York, I will be hostessing a Sacred Wealth Immersion. And this is a magical day, really. And it's really the equivalent of doing like 2 years worth of work, opening up your true prosperity, opening up your inner peace, opening up your inner joy, all in one day, basically. So how this all works is that, if you really are, a light worker, a change agent, and you feel like you've been discouraged, you've been challenged in some way, if you've just been really wanting to use your gifts and haven't figured out what they are, you need that clarity, or you maybe just feel that you don't know what they are, or you don't know how to use them, or you feel like you have been and the prosperity isn't rolling. So therefore you don't have the inner peace and you don't have the joy. If you have a gift to give and you're not giving it, it hurts. And it also, contracts your life in some way. So in the Sacred Wealth Immersion, we'll be really digging into your Sacred Wealth Code. Not only will you get it within a reading, but you'll also, through this time together, really understand why you want wealth, the purpose of it for you, really hone in on some of your high value gifts and the best way for you to use them now. This is a small group, so it's no more than 20 people. And you'll have a lot of one-on-one connection with me and with this intimate soul group that will be coming together. You'll actually leave with a plan on how you can put your gifts to use in, again, the work you're already doing, or maybe it's time to step into a new form of work, or you're ready to open that business, or that, that book, that foundation, that creative thing that's coming through you. This is about connecting with that particular blueprint and being able to, within a day's deep immersion, uh, learn how to drive it so that you can move forward and actually start taking action on this plan. But this is a hugely, hugely transformational day. You will leave a different vibration of yourself. So I'm going to drop the link here in the chat for that. And on Instagram, there is, in my bio, there's a link for that as well there. So I'm going to do that now and just drop that in. And great. And if anyone has any questions for me, I am more than happy to answer any of your questions. So let me just jump back over to sharing with you about the new moon energy, because we've got that coming up here. And with the new moon that we have coming in on the 19th, so tomorrow, it's actually in Vedic astrology. It's happening in Libra. Now, I shared on Monday, and that's still on my page in Facebook, I shared on Monday about the energy update. And one of the things that's going on is we've got a lot of light compared to what we've come through, and all of this devastation that we've been experiencing. Some of that has to do with the Mars-Mercury connection and the solar eclipse that we had. And we're coming out of that energy, and there's a lot more light now, which feels really, really great. And where in Vedic astrology this light is taking place, with a highlight on Libra. And Libra is this place of truth and balancing of the scales. It's a place of democracy. It's where we care about, what's good for the whole, not just what's good for the one. And I do believe that if you do the things that are really the best for you, it will be good for everybody else. But on the other side of that, how do we consider everybody in what we do? The light is really shining on that here for a while now, and that energy is at play with all the benefic planets. But now we have the moon, and the new moon has come to this place and aligning right with Jupiter. Jupiter is in Libra for the next year, and again, you can refer back to my Facebook Live that I did on Monday, which is the 16th, which will tell you some more about that. But bringing the new moon here too, this is, what do we want to open up as the new intention? What do you want to open up? What do you want to step into for the next month? What's your new intention for going into this time of truth? What is it that you want to shine the light on truth about? What do you want to have more collectively want us to have more clarity around, so that we can all stand in consensus for the truth? Because right now, if you look around, there isn't a consensus for the truth. Depending on what circle you're in, depending on who you're hanging out with, you might find and hopefully you are surrounding yourself with like-minded, like-hearted people. That's why I have communities that I host, my Sacred Wealth community, my business academy, my VIP clients coming here to you on social media. And then again, a new community will be born in the Sacred Wealth Immersions that are coming up in Sedona in New York. You want to be in like-minded community, but if you pull back and look at the greater community that we're all part of, whether you agree with what's going on or not, then, hey, Laura, great to see you here too. Then right now it's time to hold with the new moon that new intention that you have going forward with all this light in this area around truth, what's good for the whole, what's good for the many, not just for the few. And remember, you don't want to be pushing against things. It's not really useful. You feed the energy when you push against something. It's really good to know and use good judgment about what you're not in alignment with, but then let's stand in even stronger with all of that energy for what we are for. And that's what I want to invite you with this new moon to step into. It's ruled by a particular nakshatra. That's a lunar mansion in Vedic astrology. I won't geek out on you, but I could. that it's really interested in building relationships and soothing relationships. Building relationships and soothing relationships. So here's my questions for you, and you can tune in with me here. And you can close your eyes and take a deep breath. That's the easiest way to tune in. Put your hand on your heart. And I've got a couple of deep questions to drop into your soul and for you to listen to the answers to so you can take some action on that. So the first question is, if you really tell yourself the truth, really just let this drop into your heart, what relationships that are close to you really need soothing right now? Maybe you're at odds with somebody. Maybe you're at odds with yourself or in resistance to someone or a group or to yourself. What relationships need smoothing right now? And the second question, if I tell myself the truth, what's one inspired action that I could take that would soothe that relationship? And it could just be just the very next step. Listen to your soul, because when you do, your soul will never guide you wrong. Your soul will always lead you right where the next step is for you. You don't have to have it all figured out. And let's ask one more question here around this relational aspect. What's one of my gifts? And of course, your Sacred Wealth Code gives you your highest value gifts, like the ones the world will also see value in as well. What's one of my gifts that I could bring forward and use in order to soothe the relationships right now in my life that need to be soothed? And those relationships might extend to community and greater community at large. But what's one of the gifts? So when I tap in with my messenger tells me to keep using this gift, to get out on more platforms and keep speaking about right now in this month, this particular energy, and encouraging and supporting people to know that there is a way that they can contribute right here at home with just our one-on-one relationships and reaching out into our bigger circles of relationships. So my messenger is one of the archetypes in my Sacred Wealth Code. And my Sacred Wealth Code is like having my own wealth council. It's like having my own round table of the best guides possible, because they really are the best aspects of me. And that's one of the things your Sacred Wealth Code gives you. So a couple of things to wrap up for today. And first of all is, I love being with you. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you don't have your Sacred Wealth Code, you can I'll drop the link to grab the quiz if you want to grab the quiz and grab one of your archetypes or to grab a reading. And on Instagram, those are in my bio, those links are. And if you really want to take a deep dive and understand yourself and your gifts and actually break through the blocks, because your gifts also have a shadow side. And when you break through that shadow side, and that's a lot of what keeps us contained and keeps us from giving what we really have here to give. So I want to invite you, if you really want to step into that, you're in the New York area, I'll be there next week, the Sacred Wealth Immersion. Again, you can check out that link in my bio on Instagram and also right here on Facebook. I've got it in the comments there. You can feel free to private message me. I'd be happy to chat with you about it, okay? And then I'll be doing that in Sedona as well on November 17th. But I am super excited. And actually, I'm going to bring this up too, that I am going to give you a Bring a Friend special offer as well. So there'll be a discount for bringing a friend. So all you have to do is send me a message, and love to connect with you about that. Love to bring you in and do a deep day of work so you can leave with your wealth code transformation, know what your wealth dream actually is, know which gifts are the best ones for you to use right now, have broken through the blocks to using those gifts, and know what your plan is next to actually put your gifts into action, to amplify your work in the world you already have going on, to create it, to infuse it in your project, or just to step out as more of you so that you can have that joy and that inner peace that's aligned with your true prosperity. Okay, anyone has any questions, and anyone watching the replay, I will come back and I will absolutely also answer any questions after as well. So what I want to invite you to do is, again, just any questions that you have, I'll be here and I'll hang out a little bit and answer those questions. And so much love to all of you. Set your intentions for this new moon. The new moon is tomorrow. We like to look at it the day before, the day of, and the day after, and set those intentions to come into harmony around relationships and maybe even around the ones that feel like would be so hard to come into harmony about. Okay, so much love to you. Have a beautiful, beautiful day.